I'm scared of people who are scared of me. Everything I was afraid of happened. I knew in Virginia that I was going to lose everyone I love over that panic attack. It's that nobody listens. They all have all their different ideas of what you should be doing. I needed a safe environment. That means no fucking screaming. I just needed my own place and a dog. So everybody says I gotta... Not everybody. But at Shannon's, I gotta hear her screaming or talking over me and making it about her. Everybody makes it about them. I need them to listen. Just one good friend to listen, to understand. And they kept making suggestions, and their suggestions don't work. I've already tried all their suggestions. That's why I know what works and what doesn't. I've seen others go through it, so I know what works and what doesn't. I know how people think. I'm not a mind reader, I just know how they react. They don't react kind to people who are called mentally ill. They don't react kind to the homeless, and that's not to say nobody's ever good to the homeless. The Fuzzies, I needed his help, and he was just screaming about Tammy the whole time. I called him yesterday. Last night, he screamed about Tammy the whole time. It was just me in the house. He kept on getting mad at me, telling me he could hear people laughing in the background. There was nobody there. There was nobody there to laugh at him. At Todd's, him screaming at me and Chloe because he's all fucked up on ketamine. Atlanta's yelling at me because I don't do what she wants. I'm not buying that car. I don't have the money to buy that car, Lana. I told you that the first 10 times. A safe environment means no fucking screaming. See my place in Chapel, it was great. There was no screaming. I just didn't have any friends. I had Aunt B who talks nonstop so negatively, and people, when they say they'll take the time to listen, and then they sit down at the table and they talk about a bunch of other people, and they spend all that time gossiping. And I just get too scared to try to speak anymore. And then people come home, and the first thing they want to do is go in their bedroom and smoke meth. I'm not safe where I'm at. I left because people get volatile. What I needed was someone to take a look at the evidence, and not one person did, not even one. I've been carrying it around everywhere, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And I remember all these things that people did because of their assumptions. Me and Natalie hung out in the same area in Boulder with a lot of the same people, and even the ones that she hung out with that I didn't, they intermingled with my friends. I knew what was going to happen. I had a meltdown in the middle of the road. I was trying not to. I was trying to show her what was going on. I was all the way in Virginia. I tried to get help. Everybody had 10,000 things they wanted me to do. Sean, you need to do this and learn this and go do this and go do that. All the money that was spent, I mean, those people in Washington State, you saw that video. All them police officers, they were paid. They were paid for doing that. How much per hour for each cop? I just needed $5 for gas and a place to park my vehicle. They just wanted it moved, that's it. And I could have moved it, I just needed money. So what did it cost the taxpayers? The police in the next jurisdiction over, that's where they towed it to. That next jurisdiction over, they're the ones that paid to get me my vehicle back. Instead of looking at the evidence, they back me into a corner and prevent me from showing them the evidence. How can I show you the evidence if you're busy talking about you, Shannon? If you're busy talking about you, Fuzzy, you're not gonna help me. You're too self-absorbed, I need help. And all these places I went to where they said they understood, I mean, they all snapped at me. And it's okay, I'm not allowed to snap at them, though, or I'm a horrible person. I stayed away from the drugs for a reason. And B, I just couldn't stand all of her constant negativity. I needed positivity in my life. I had a positive experience with Chelsea Worsing, and I had a positive experience with Dee Dee and Rachel Klang. After Natalie died, and that was it. People kept trying to turn helping me into a conversation. It didn't need to be a conversation. We can have a conversation after you get done listening. I tell you what help I need, and then you ask 200 questions that are all over the place. I knew this would happen in Virginia in 2016. I knew it was going to happen. And I kept telling myself it'll be alright. I went to JoJo for help. All me and Natalie needed was to sit down and discuss it as adults. Instead of me being assaulted repeatedly because of her age and her paranoia because she was on fucking drugs. She's got all these ear breathers telling her he's this kind of guy and he's that kind of guy, and she knew better. All these people knew better. I tried to get help. I went over to Derek and JoJo's. Derek got into an argument with JoJo. And then my words didn't come out perfect, so he got hung up on that for 3 fucking days, yelling and yelling and yelling and yelling. And fuck, dude, stop, Derek. Your mom asked you to stop. JoJo asked you to stop. Just stop. JoJo wouldn't call me. She'd only text me. That's why I went over there. That's why I made that hammer for her. So that she would actually listen in person, and then she talked over me. Her and Derek both. That's why it needs to be a one-on-one conversation. People are better at understanding then. I needed y'all to not ask questions and listen to understand. If you got a question, hold on to your fucking question. Your question doesn't matter. It'll be answered. And don't ask me fucking 30 different questions while I'm trying to explain it to you. Don't try to trade fucking stories. It's not a conversation. I asked for help. I need you to listen. I couldn't get anybody to look. I couldn't get Natalie to look. She was too hateful. People are hurting me. Not literally right this moment, but yes, literally right this moment. Every person who threw me away instead of listening hurt me. Every person who treated me like shit because the way that they wanted it to be done didn't work or didn't happen, or I didn't have the ability to do it and they didn't want to hear any of that. You're making excuses. No, I can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. And all the money that was wasted, instead of taking a police report and understanding that I have abilities and disabilities, alright? I know my strong suits. And I know where I'm not any good. I know I'm a good artist. You don't have to tell me. People were hurting me because Natalie's family was scared of me. And I was afraid of that happening. I'd seen rumors fly out of control before. I know a couple of single dads did from that. I don't have any kids. People who are on chemicals, they're volatile. They snap at a moment's notice, and I am susceptible to that. I needed positivity. Positivity, you know? Going over to Amy and Andrew's all fucked up on meth. And he's not keeping his word. He's like, yeah, I'll help you as soon as I get back. Could you watch the kids? And then I watch the kids, and he gets back. He's all methed out with his gourd, and I get kicked out of the house. Sean, could you give us a few? Yeah, I'll give you a few. I needed help. I needed help from the police. That's who I needed help from. I don't need a therapist or drugs. I need an honest day in court, and that's never going to happen. I'm never going to get to see my loved ones ever again. People say, well, you know, you're with a loved one right now. Yeah, I love them very much. I do. But he's on chemicals. He doesn't have time for me. I needed help. I was being abused and I couldn't even talk about it. I tried to get JoJo to shut up and listen. I tried to get Swan to shut up and listen. Please, I need help. Please, Maddie, stop being accusational and listen, alright? It was a panic attack. I wasn't stalking anyone. And Maddie knows it. And Alicia knows it. I'm stuck like this for the rest of my life. Because Natalie didn't come forward and tell the truth. Alicia didn't come forward and tell the truth. Maddie didn't come forward and tell the truth. I needed a police officer to do their job. Instead, I got backed into a corner and drugged and assaulted. Not one friend tried to understand. Not one made the effort to actually understand that they all have loved ones there in person they get to see every day. Loved ones who will actually work with them when they're attacked. And I had to be afraid to even speak. That's why I started making videos, is so I could speak. Mental health check after mental health check after mental health check. Wouldn't it have been easier and cheaper just to It was obvious that myself and the Bollingers were trying to get a day in court together. It was obvious that me and Natalie were both trying to do the same thing before she died. We were trying to put an end to all the crazy, and all that crazy didn't come from me and Natalie. It came from a bunch of people who weren't there, and their fucking opinions. And then people just hate me because of the one part that they got to see, which isn't mine. They went through my videos to pick out the parts that they could use to be mean to me. Look, he did this and he did that, and I'm trying to show you the truth. Not just one side. I shouldn't have trusted Ken and Leah, I knew that. But they were closer to my friends. I mean, while I was there, I got to see Bailey Beers. She was happy. I got to see Osha. She was freaking out, but it was good to see her. I got to see Brandon Ratner. I got to see James Golden. That's the thing, is that I needed help. I needed my family to help before all this happened. I needed my family to give a shit when I was a kid. But when they don't give a shit, you end up in a fucked up situation. People think that because you're a certain age that you should have certain things and you're expected to have that. Natalie's friends made my life such hell that I was begging for death. I needed help. Jeff Ritter was supposed to help me with a lawyer. Ken and Leah were supposed to pay me back. Please kill me. Could you please? I can't bring Natalie back, and nobody's gonna help me, and they don't understand that I need help. I don't want your help, I need it. I don't want to be treated like shit for accepting your help. I need that help. But it doesn't matter how many fucking candy bars you throw at me. I need you to understand, I don't need a fucking candy bar. I don't need a sandwich. I don't need pills. You need to see a therapist. 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 I'm seeing therapists, you fucking dumbasses. What I needed is for Natalie to sit down with me and have an adult conversation. What I needed is for her to understand that terrible things that people were doing to me because she didn't tell the truth. I got tired of people yelling at me and pushing me and shoving me well before Natalie died. I needed to see my loved ones. The worst parts were at night when I had nobody to talk to. And when I was driving, how much money was wasted to try to cover up police ignoring what was going on. How much money was wasted when it could have just been me and Natalie and any other person. Or me and Maddie and any other person. Or me and Alicia and any other person. I can't function. And I can't stay here, it's not safe. And I'm depressed from all of this trying to get just one person to look at it, but they're all too busy gossiping and doing drugs.